Hey everyone, I'm your host Cadence, and welcome back to Project Honesty, a podcast designed for young adults, by a young adult, to gain brutally honest, friend-like advice, as well as provide a platform for young adults to form opinions, color outside of the lines, take deep dives into current events, and most importantly, have fun. This is Project Honesty, navigating reality with real conversations and diverse opinions. Hey, if you're not already on the Instagram or following the Instagram, it is project_honesty24, you would have not known today's topic. So if you're not there already, today's topic is girl-guy friendships and the assumptions surrounding these friendships. This is a pretty important topic to me because I get asked all the time about me dating my guy friends, which I actually really hate, stereotypes around girl-guy friendships and why they're complete bullshit. And I have a few guy friends in my life. I don't have many, but the ones that I do have, I deeply value. And I wouldn't want stereotypes around girl-guy friendships to ever push us apart. And so I think it's important to talk about them on here today. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing my relationship past and present with my male peers, and why having guy friends has been beneficial for me and some of the things that they bring into my life. And then a little bit at the end, we're going to go over some facts around why co-ed friendships are important to development. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but still an episode I wanted to make. My relationship with my male peers and my past interactions and friendships with guys has kind of changed a little bit since I've been in high school, but it's relatively been the same over the years. So since kindergarten, I was even finding male friends. I found that I connected well with guys. And actually, one of the people that I've known for the longest time, and I've been friends with for the longest time, he was someone that I met in kindergarten, which is pretty cool. So the history of having male friends for me is nothing unfamiliar. Then in elementary, I was bullied extensively, a lot, by girls. Girls in elementary school had something against me. I don't know what it is, and I truly don't care. And so I found that the boys always treated me better for some reason. They hung out with me, they talked to me in and outside of class, they were relatable as much as an elementary school kid can be relatable. The biggest thing is that they didn't care if I was a little different from the others. With girls, they cared that, I didn't have this shirt, or I didn't shop here, or I didn't have this done. That was something that was actually really common in elementary school that I still notice today, but that boys don't care if you're a little bit different. As long as you're a good person and you're interesting and you're fun to talk to, they will treat you the exact same as everyone else, which is something that I think really helped me in elementary school, especially trying to fight that bullying. Having those male friendships in my life at that time were really, really important because they were kind of my only true friendships. Then in junior high, I went to an all-girls school, as you guys know if you have listened to my episode about education. And so I wasn't really able to have guy friends, not that there was rules around that, but unless I met them through someone else, the contact to get into, with guys my age was very, very difficult. So unless it was someone's brother or someone we met on a field trip, which actually did happen a couple times, that was pretty cool, we didn't really get to talk to guys. So in high school, that's the place where I've met all of the guy friends I have now. Because I don't talk to any of the ones I had in elementary school. And so high school is really the place where I met all of the male friendships that I have in my life now. I'll mention the top 3. If these people are listening, they're gonna know who's who. So if you guys know, please play a guessing game because that's gonna keep me really entertained. And if you don't, you just get to hear about how amazing my guy friends are. So the first guy that I met when I entered high school, he is such a goofball. He is hilarious. He's so funny. He has a great sense of humor. He's really, really relatable. And as much as he's a goofball, he's actually really, really caring and really smart. Like the other day, I was crying because some of the seniors were leaving and I felt really sad. And at the end of class, he came over and gave me a hug, and he's just the sweetest kid ever. And he's very, very important to me, and he's definitely one of my close friends. He really made me feel okay about having guy friends again after 3 years of not really being able to connect with guys. So the second guy that I met, he's also a goofball, and he's really, really sweet, and he gets along with every single person. No matter who you are, he gets along with you. And I worked with him while ushering a show at my school, and he's just really super nice to hang out with, and he makes really great conversation. And so I love him. He's amazing. Still very much a goofball. He also has great style. If you know who you are, you have great style. And then the third guy. Now, I actually met him through the first guy I met in high school, but I knew of this guy for a very, very long time. He's very popular, and honestly, I was kind of intimidated by how many people he knew. And so we had a class together last semester, and we connected, I think, mainly through the first guy who kind of made that initial contact between the two of us. There was something that bonded us together is because we're both creators. He makes his own music, and obviously I own the podcast and I'm a content creator. And so we kind of had this creators support creators bond at first. And he is one of the people I talk about a lot just in my life in general. And he was actually the inspiration to this episode. He definitely knows who he is. And I don't want to try, I'm going to try not to talk about him too much on here because I already talk about him enough. He's really amazing, and I'm very lucky to have met him and connected with him, especially because he helps me out with ideas for the podcast sometimes, which is pretty cool. And he brings so many amazing things into my life. He's an excellent motivator, especially when we go to the gym. And he seems to be one of the first guys to fully understand me, and I think the reason behind that is because he's really mature. When two really mature people find each other, I think it builds a really strong connection, and we've had conversations about both our maturity levels, and compared to a lot of guys my age, so like 15, 16-year-olds, they are very, how do I say this nicely, in development. But this third guy, he seems to have a lot of his shit together. He's very sophisticated, more sophisticated than any 15-year-old boy I've ever met, so that's pretty cool. But he is definitely the biggest inspiration behind this episode because a lot of the stereotypes I'm going to be talking about on here next, I guess, are things that we have both encountered. Talking about stereotypes, there's a lot. Now, a lot of these I mainly encounter, and I think it's just because I'm the girl in this side of the conversation, so I usually get hit with many of the questions. Don't really know why, but I do. So one of the biggest questions I probably get this question like every month from somebody who doesn't even know who I am. They always say, "Are you dating?" No. It was actually funny. I have a story about one of the most memorable times somebody asked me if I was dating one of my guy friends. Someone in my gym class came up to me and was like, "How's your man?" And I was like, "What?" I didn't really hear her that well, so I was like, "Huh?" She goes, "Is that your man?" And I was like, "Oh, no, we're friends." And so when I told my friend, we both started laughing hysterically because I think it's funny when people ask me that. And so that was a pretty funny moment, but also that is a stereotype of most guy-girl friendships is the "are you dating?" question. Another question I get asked a lot is, "Do you like him?" I have been asked this way too many times. I've been asked if I'm gonna get with him at some point. No. It frustrates me to answer this question. No, I am not using my guy friend just because I want to end up dating him. Obviously, I like him because, I like all my friends. I love all my friends, actually. But those feelings are purely platonic. They are not romantic whatsoever because these guys are like brothers to me. They build me up in that brotherly sort of way, which I love so, so much. And so when you like someone in that way, I think it's really hard for people to see that, especially if they don't connect with guys well and they see you connecting with a guy really well. It makes them think, ooh, what if you like him? No, it's because I have the ability to make a strong connection with these guys. Another one, more for like the guy's perspective of this stereotype, is he's using me. Now, that has never happened with any of my guy friends. My guy friends don't use me, and I'm very well aware of that because I know I'm too smart. If someone was trying to use me, especially a guy, I would cut that connection off immediately. And that kind of connects to the stereotype of girl-guy friendships never work because one will always fall for the other in the end. That is all bullshit. Just because you're friends with the opposite gender doesn't mean you're going to fall in love with the other one. Like, I genuinely can't imagine falling in love with any of my guy friends. I can't fathom it because, again, they're like my brothers, not my boyfriends. So it's really frustrating. I get asked these questions a lot, and I hate them. But, like one of my guy friends said to me the other day, you're gonna have to ignore it and stop letting other people's opinions get in the way of the friendship. And he's right, I shouldn't care what people have to say or think, but I'm also human, so sometimes I do. And it's unfortunate. Yeah, those are just some of the most common stereotypes and assumptions made when a girl and a guy are friends. The overall benefits that I've seen of having male friendships in my life is that at times it's easier because I'm a person who really likes honesty. Like, I would much rather have someone tell me the hardest truth ever than me having to find out they lied to me. And that's just because of stuff that's happened in my past. And so I find that my guy friends will tell it to me how it is and say it to my face, but a lot of women tend to hide shit from you, and it's really stressful when you have to go digging for the truth. That's one of the biggest things that I've gotten out of my male friendships is the honesty factor. Some scientific facts on why co-ed friendships are important is 1, you learn to handle conflict in different ways. When you're having a conflict with a girl, it's a lot different than how it is with a guy. And I know that because I've had conflicts with both. It sucks. And I don't love conflict, but I'm really good at handling it. And so having two different ways of like learning how to handle conflict is incredible for building skills just in life. When thinking from a guy's perspective, I think these kind of friendships can provide space for guys to be vulnerable without feeling the pressure of this tough bro culture, whatever you want to call it. I know that my guy friends have vented to me and vent to me a lot, and I can tell that my guy friends really value my advice. And so I think when they are friends with a girl, it really opens up that space to not have to live up to expectations of what it means to be a guy, which I know can be tough, especially when it comes to certain guys that you're interacting with. A lot of guys tend to feed into that bro culture when some of them don't. And so I think when a guy can vent to a girl in a friend way, that is something that is really important for mental health. And that improves communication overall. Your communication skills grow when you get to communicate with everyone. Another thing that I really like about being friends with guys is that there's a different perspective on life that they have to offer. And I see this in how we are both treated differently, how he's treated as a guy and how I'm treated as a girl, especially in the education system. I like to see that contrast about how my guy friends are treated. It's also nice to get guy advice from a guy. I have told one of my guy friends, I said, hey, if I ever talk to a guy in a romantic way, can you tell me if he's being an asshole? Because sometimes girls can't tell, but guys know each other pretty well. And so getting guy advice from someone who is a dude is really helpful at times, and I really, really appreciate it. And again, boys are brutally honest. Something I strive for every single day is being brutally honest. And then overall, a girl-guy friendship gives you the opportunity to push against the cultural stereotypes and build a stronger bond with each other. Fighting against something with someone else definitely bonds you to that person more, and I think it's something that makes a friendship really deep, and it adds a lot of character to that friendship. And so I think that is definitely one of the greatest facts about co-ed friendships that I really, really love. I love my guy friends so, so much, and it's awesome to have more brothers in my life, more than I already have, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you for being in my life and bringing so much to life that I didn't know was possible. So this episode was quite short and sweet, but thank you so much for listening to another episode of Project Honesty. You can find Project Honesty on Spotify at Project Honesty or on YouTube at Project_Honesty. And to keep up to date with new episodes, you can head over to Project Honesty's Instagram, which is at Project_Honesty24. We also have a TikTok account, which is at project.honesty. To help spread this podcast everywhere, tell a friend or share with a family member about Project Honesty, and you can direct them over to the Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, or YouTube to help them learn more. Subscribe and follow for updates when I post, and remember, the more listeners, the bigger the family.